I've found greater fulfillment in the journey of pursuing my goals than in the moment of achieving them. Unwavering confidence is a lie. The fears never go away completely. They just don't linger as long.
So that's the only purpose I fucking need. So the reason I get up every day, even though there's no race or there's no school or there's nothing in front of me, is because I have pride in myself.
And at the end of the day, when you're old and have grandkids and chilling in your life, you're the culmination of everything you've accomplished, but also how you accomplished it and how you reacted to it. What's the big picture? What do you want to become?
There's no perfect way to live your 20s. You either live them up and become an underskilled 30-year-old, or you work them up and become an underlived 30-year-old. You just have to figure out which you'd rather be, accept the trade-offs, and know that there are no do-overs. What would you say to someone who's going through a string of bad days, or bad weeks, or bad months?
Say it's okay. You're not alone. I think sometimes a quick word of just looking in them and being like, I know, you're not alone. Give them a hug and be like, this is shit right now, and it's okay. But you're not alone.
There are instances, I think everyone's been in this kind of situation, where the thing that's stressing you out is not going to get resolved today, and you need to sleep. And of course, you know you need to sleep, and then you can't sleep, and then of course that creates a compounding stress, and now you're stressed about not being able to sleep, and then over the course of the next few days, you dissolve into a puddle of tears. But fortunately, there are ways out of that kind of self-destruction.
One of my green flags for intellect is someone being able to say that they don't know. Not knowing is really powerful, because then learning becomes the only clear directive. And so if we know what learning is, which is same condition, new behavior, then it's like, what do I need to change about what I do in order to learn this thing? It also allows us to say many things are not worth learning because they probably won't affect my life in any way.
Why I hate being around negative people. Being an asshole is a weak person's idea of strength. Complaining is their connection. Never let yourself be held back by other people's fears. People criticize what they were afraid to do themselves because bold action reminds them of their own inaction. If you're afraid to be criticized, why do you care about the opinions of those who are too timid to do it themselves? If you are the criticizer, does tearing down someone who has the courage you lack make you better? What are you prepared to sacrifice? Psychologically, physically, existentially, relationally, socially, in terms of your self-esteem, your confidence, everything, right? All of that. Because if there's even a part of you that's thinking, well, I'm going to do this, but I'm going to balance it because I want to feel satisfied and I want to feel comfortable with myself and so on and so forth. That's fine for as long as it contributes to your performance within the domain that you're competing in. But as soon as you sacrifice any output in that, that's just an opening for somebody else that's the competitor that's going to come in and get it.
People have a harder time accepting that someone can just work all the time and truly love it. And I define that by there's nothing else I would rather do at any time. And so for me, I feel like I exercise absolute freedom in my life. And freedom is reinforcing for all species. Dogs, cows, fish, humans. Freedom is one of the most positively reinforcing thing that people have, that everyone wants freedom.
Everybody wants to be able to say fuck you.
Right. But once you say fuck you, you have to do something, because you can't just stand there and saying fuck you over and over again for hours for the rest of your life. You start to do something, and that thing that you choose to do after you say fuck you is what you want to do.
In my opinion, what I've learned very deeply over the years is that confidence is just truth. It's just being honest. And there's people who put on this false bravado of arrogance of being like, they were 5th place at the Olympia last year. Don't pick out whoever was 5th and pick on them, but someone not winning, like, I'm going to show up and I'm going to win this Olympia. I know it in my heart. It's like, you don't know that. You're lying. It's not confidence. It's just a lie. Whereas when speak to myself truthfully and I'm like, I don't really know if I can do this. Like, I have doubt. I have fear. I just wanted X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, being honest, to me, that exemplifies real, true confidence. And you're being realistic with yourself. If you tell yourself you're going to do something you don't think you really can do, you're creating this gap between your beliefs and your reality, and it just creates more stress in yourself and an inability to perform, in my opinion.
If you can't define the inputs and outputs that are going to get you what you want, then there's no way to start. right? Because you don't know what you're supposed to do. So you have to define it down to like the most basic first actions. It's like, if I want to start creating content, that means I have to post something. If it means I have to start doing I always think in terms of business because that's what I'm in, but like I'm either doing a cold reach out, I'm doing a cold call, cold email, cold DM, whatever that is. I have to make a piece of content, I have to post it, I have to make a podcast, I have to make a YouTube video, I have to make a short, whatever that is, make a blog post. I have to run an ad. Right? I have to run the ad, I have to press go, I have to spend the money, whatever it is, like whatever that core initial action is.
Go to the gym, lift the weight, put the shoes on, get in the car.
Whatever the input is, you have to define what the input is that's going to get you the output you want. Now, once you know what that input output is, the next one is, why aren't you doing it? Right? And so I think a lot of people are looking for something that is very hard to find. And then they attribute their lack of success or lack of action because they don't have passion or motivation, right?
Never ever think small. If you're going to accomplish anything, you have to think big. You have to go and shoot for the stars. The biggest challenge most people have is because they think small. And the reason why people think small and why they choose small little goals is because they're afraid to fail. They know that if you shoot for a big goal, then the chances of failing are very high. And they're afraid of failing. It's one of the most common things why people are frozen and why they can't make a move in life, because they're scared of failing. I say to myself, hey, I'm not worried about failing because that's part of life. You're not gonna go and win everything. And how far can you fall? Look at this is the ground. That's as far as I can fall. And you know something? That the only time you really consider the failure is if you fall and you don't get up. But if you get up, you never consider the failure. So I never considered myself a failure. I always considered myself a winner, even though I fell every so often. But I always got up and I always moved forward.
Seconds ago, pain. That's just almost like excruciating. Seconds later, it like flows out of you like you just pull the plug on your sink and all the water and all the pressure just goes. It is a greater feeling than what the pain was. Meaning the pain you felt doing that, man, is overridden with pride. And when you pull that plug and all the water goes out and all the pain leaves, because what's left there after all the water leaves is more capable of you. More capable. So don't let the pain rob you of your potential, guys. Don't let what you can't do in the moment interfere with what you know you can do. Meaning don't let the pain fucking rob you of your belief of what you can be. Because your body hears everything your mind says. And anytime you have any kind of discourse, or you could be subject to the discomforts of the situation, your body remembers that, and your body's just the messenger of what the purity right here is. It just delivers whatever this says. And if you start thinking you can't do it, and that pain's like, oh, it feels, I can't do the pain, you think that body's gonna tell your brain, the boss of the world, hey man, we can do it? Bullshit. It's like a little bitch, that body is. It's just like, okay, we're done then. Your body hears everything your mind says. Don't even give it a chance to think that kind of shit.
You have to separate you feeling something and you acting on that feeling. Because you may feel hopeless many, many times, but you need to continue to do the activities that are aligned with your goal. You may feel hungry, but you need to not eat the cookie to stay aligned with your goal. You may feel angry, but know that retaliating at your coworker has no likely positive outcome. You may hate your boss, but undermining them in front of the team may make you feel good in the moment, but again, destroy your long-term career prospects. And so I think creating a gap. And so I was talking to one of our CEOs who was having a little bit of stress issue, and I said, I want you to think that you're a Yeti can. I want you to think you're one of these cans that has a vacuum between both walls. I was like, you got your feelings on one side, you've got your internal temperature, and you've got your external temperature. And I was like, I just want you to do this. Just create space, and space within the context of behavior is time, which is when I feel something and I have the desire to act on it, you can, at that moment, you have the lowest action threshold, which means that you're the highest likelihood of behaving or you're doing something is when you have this feeling. And so I want to make as logical of decisions as I possibly can. Hopefully we're all aligned on the fact that logical decisions in general work out better than illogical decisions. And so if we make logical decisions on a regular basis, then we'll have longer term outcomes. If we want to increase the likelihood that our decisions in general are logical, then we want to create space between when we feel and when we do.